Hey everybody, it is 11:04 on Thursday, May 7th. I came on this morning at 9:30 and did my live video, and that was video 1. And in video 1, you heard me just recap the entire week, and I asked all the students that were on the live what questions they had, and I told you what we're going to be doing today, what we're going to be doing tomorrow. And at 9:30 this morning, I also told you to come back at 11 because at 11 o'clock I was going to film the live lesson. I didn't want to do this at 9:30 and then give you all this information, and then you go to Miss Stewart's session and then have to take all the writing you just did and put it to the side. So I answered questions, I talked about the week, and then a lot of you guys went to Miss Stewart's session. And now that you've finished the math and the science with Miss Stewart, you can focus the rest of your day on the assignment for reading and writing. Awesome. Okay, so every time we do these videos, always make sure you're coming prepared, because while I'm talking, you can be pausing and looking and saying, how does this apply to me? The reminder is I can sit here and I could make as many YouTube videos as possible. I could be a fantastic, most amazing teacher ever. That would be cool. It's my goal. But if you are not taking what I'm saying and putting it into your writing, that's not learning. So that's a really, thank you, Bailey. That is a really important reminder that if we're doing a lesson on revising and you are not revising, that's not a 70, that's not a C, that's just no learning has happened. So always have your things in front of you and say, okay, how can I put this in my writing? That's just good learning in general. Okay, so what we've been working on, thank you guys, that was really sweet. He's really important to me, so I wanted to share with that in the last video. And plus when you live to be like 84, that's a huge deal. I mean, that's a long life. Okay, we'll go ahead and start. And then at the very end, I'll leave some time for questions. So if you guys have questions, hang on to them or put them in now, okay? Okay, guys, so really this week, you guys have written 2 stories and you've done a lot of going back to your writing and improving your writing. And so you guys have gone from just doing a story to really writing a story well. That's the goal. Not just writing the same thing over and over again, but improving with each time. So the thing I want you to think about is in yesterday's story. So if you have yesterday's story, put it in front of you. In yesterday's story, did you use the twin sentence strategy? And look through each of your pages. How many of you, and think about if this is you, did you use this strategy, twin sentences? Did you ask yourself those questions? Where's my paper? There it is. To make your writing longer. Because you guys have been really focused on revising. Did you do this work in your writing yesterday? Okay. And a lot of, hopefully every single person watching this video should say, yes, I tried using this in my writing. Okay. And then also, how many of you guys yesterday in your story turned your pages into more like this? Less of one chunk. How many of you guys actually in your story yesterday pushed yourself to do a beginning, a middle, and an end of each page? Because that's the work we've done so far. So yesterday when you were writing, you want to keep this in mind, and you want to still be using these strategies in your story. And that's what I'm going to be looking for. When you send me your new story, have you got twin sentences? Do I see these things? Does your paper look like this? Is your paper in multiple chunks? Because that's how you're getting better. And so you guys today, we're going to continue writing more. And you guys know, we've talked about it, that when you write more, it's elaborating. That's all elaborating means, is adding more to your writing. But we don't just want to add more, we really want to add something to make it better. Because I could write 5 pages, but it not be very good. So whenever we add something, we want to make sure it's high quality too. Okay? And so one thing I want you guys, let me see here, to do one of the ways that you guys are going to do today is you're still going to continue this awesome work, but you guys are actually going to be given another revising strategy. And this is one that you guys remember from 3rd grade reading. Today, you guys are going to be bringing your characters to life. And I'm just going to hold that there for you guys to kind of see for a little bit. Okay. When you do this strategy, when you bring characters to life, you make your writing a lot more powerful. And I'm just going to read like a random page from a book. And listen to it, how this author makes their writing powerful. And it's 2 characters talking. It says, I hear a train. Everybody stopped. Everybody listened. The train whistle was much louder. Back to the cutoff, run. And even though it's just a snippet from a random story, you feel that kind of energy from that scene with the train and the tension. And so what that author did is they brought their characters to life. And the way you bring a character to life is two parts. You get the character saying things and you get the character doing things. You get your characters to talk and you get your characters to move. That's really important. So I'm going to actually, and this is on Google Drive. I'm going to flip back. This is on Google Drive. I took a little piece of writing and I'll read it. It says, I fell off my skateboard and I yelled because it hurt. Okay. And so when I read that, there's something that the character moves. Remember, we're trying to get characters to move and characters to talk. The character moves in that little piece right there. Okay. The character yells and the character falls off the skateboard. But I want you to look at how this person improved this first piece of writing. Look at how they get the character to talk and move. Ready? It's this next piece here. And this is your example. I fell off my skateboard. Ow, I yelled. Okay, this author's got the character talking. And then the characters also got this author's got the character moving right here with a small action. My ankle, I gripped my ankle in pain. So they didn't just say I fell off the board and I screamed. They actually added a small action to get their character moving, and they added some speech to get their character talking. And so that's going to be the big focus is you're going to be taking yesterday's story, even your first story. You got 2 stories now. You can use both. You guys are going to focus on improving your writing by getting characters talking and getting characters moving. And when we say characters moving, we want to think about those small actions. Some of you have already got your characters talking in your story, and you can look through your writing right now. Have you already done that in your writing? I know one person that's here right now live has done that. Bailey's definitely got it in her first story. I remember. But how can we get characters to talk, and how can we get characters to move in small actions? Almost like those invisible things. Yeah, there you go, Bailey. Almost like those invisible things that we could miss, small actions, okay? And so this is kind of the steps that we follow. This is what you're gonna do to revise. You're gonna go back to your story and you're gonna say, where is a part in my story where the character could say something or do something, talking or moving? Okay, this sounds like a step that isn't anything, but if you skip this part, you will struggle. You have to visualize. You have to take a moment to think in your head. I mean, act it out like drama or create a movie in your head. And that's why sketching is so important too, is for you to come up with ideas for your characters. You have to visualize. Oftentimes, you guys that struggle with ideas, that's where you get stuck. You don't make that mental movie in your head. So you're going to look for a place where the character says or does something. You need to visualize and act it out to make sure you know what's going on. And then today you're going to rewrite. You're going to rewrite that page and you're going to say exactly what the character did and exactly what the character said. So find a place in the story where your character could say or do something. This is so important. You have to visualize that scene, sketch it, act it out. You have to do some kind of visual for yourself. And then you're going to rewrite that page and include that piece of your character talking and doing something. Okay? And that's the revising that you guys are going to be working on today. So now I'm going to hold something up for you guys to look at. And this is actually another sentence kind of about that skateboarding. And I want you guys to think about how could you rewrite this scene? Okay, I'll read it and then I'll hold it up. My ankle hurt really badly, so I laid on the ground moaning. My friend came over to check if I was okay. So remember, your goals are to get the character moving and saying something. So when you look at that, what would you do? Would you add something to get the character moving, or would you add something to get the character talking? You can type that in the chat, or maybe talk to yourself out loud. When I find this scene, this is a scene with characters. So by finding my characters, would you add something with the character talking, or would you add an action to get your character moving? Well, I'm already laying on the ground moaning. My friend comes over to check if I'm okay. I could add a small action. I could definitely add something. But you know what? There's nothing in this scene with characters talking. So this would be a really great place for my characters to talk and say something. Absolutely, Pedro's got it. You could have the friend asking another friend for something. Now you can get two characters talking just for a moment. But yeah, this is a great place where you can get characters talking. And then, awesome, Pedro said you can get them talking, and then by their conversation, that could make them do something. Absolutely. Okay? And that's really the work you guys are going to do. You're going to get out your old stories, the one from yesterday, and even the first one. Go above and beyond. If you want that A or B, this is the chance. Go revise and rewrite sections. And what you guys are really focused on is you guys are focused on making sure that your writing is not just longer. We still want longer, but we want it better. And today you're going to really focus in on finding a place in your story where you can get characters talking or moving, visualizing what that could look like, and then rewriting it on that page. So your work is bringing characters to life. I'm going to hold something up for you guys to see as well. I put this on the Google Drive because this is a way that someone revised, and this is a real student picture. The student had their original writing, which, by the way, that's a third grade student. So we know that our writing is longer than that. But look, when they added characters talking, and it's almost like they used a sticky note and they put it on their paper. So that's a really great revising strategy, is maybe you can stick it on the page with a sticky note, or you could write it below. You don't have to entirely rewrite the page, although we know that's good for revising. Right? If you're adding twin sentences and you're really making sure your papers have top, middle, and bottom, okay, yeah, then rewrite that page and bring your characters to life. But I liked this example because this student just kind of used a sticky note to place a part of their characters talking. And when I read it, it says, I yelled, "Mom, Mom, come here, I want this snake." My mom was scared of snakes, so it was hard to convince her, but she wasn't as scared as my sister. So that author added characters talking, but then they also wrote a little bit of information about what the characters did after. Okay? So that's your work for today, is going through your stories and getting characters moving, getting them small actions too. Think about those little moments by visualizing, and get your characters talking. Something on Google Drive that I did though for this work is I don't want you guys just to go to your work and said, I said, she said, he said, I said, he said. On Google Drive, and I'm opening Google Drive, so I'm gonna take my eyes off this screen for a moment. On Google Drive, you have all of these strategies already there. I took a picture of this student sample. I took a picture of this sample from my notebook to remind you guys we want characters speaking and moving. But on Google Drive, there are 4 pictures. And those 4 pictures are so, so important. Those 4 pictures are how you take your writing to the next level. And you need that for middle school, very much so. I gave you sentence starters. I gave you something called precise words. So instead of saying, I said, you might look at that chart and say, I whispered. That's more precise and more accurate. So precise words is what I'm going to look for in your writing. You want that A or B, you need to be using that Google Drive saying, I can't use the word said. Not just I went. Okay, that's not precise. I sprinted. I skipped. More specific. There's also sentence starters on Google Drive that we used at the beginning of the year. There's another photo. So instead of starting your sentence with the, or she or he, use the sentence starters and steal word from that page to help make your writing what we call a variety of sentences, lots of different types of sentences. And the last thing on Google Drive is words for said. There's a whole page just dedicated to different words for said. So yes, you're going to be bringing your characters to life by getting them talking and getting them doing. But you guys are 6th graders. And so the expectation is no said, no went, no I did. You need to use stronger language. So I gave you a lot of resources on Google Drive to make your writing powerful. You could still use thesaurus we did at the beginning of the year. But what I gave you on Google Drive, I don't think you need thesaurus at all. If you use what I gave you, that will help you be successful. So I'm going to encourage you to not use thesaurus today and really stick to that Google Drive, just so it's focused for you guys. But that's it. That was today's lesson. So this is video 2. This is the actual learning and the actual task. You guys are going to continue this work on revising. You're going to make sure you revise characters talking and getting characters doing, small actions. But when you guys send me your story, I'm still expecting to see your papers look more like this, and I'm expecting to see more twin sentences. These are 2 strategies you can always go back and watch videos on, and everything stays on Google Drive. So you can go back to Tuesday if you want and refresh your memory. But that is it for today. Super important you send me photos of your new pages. If you guys have any questions, then feel free to ask them right now. But that is your work for today. I'll go ahead and go back and read to see if anyone had questions. But I'll give you guys 1 or 2 minutes. Ask me your questions or tell me something about the learning today so I can boost your participation on the tracker. Otherwise, you guys are free to go. This is going to be saved and the playlist, goodbye, called May. Okay, make sure you send me photos so I can help you guys with your work. But otherwise, revising using old strategies and this new one about characters, getting characters talking, getting characters doing. Think about those little moments too. When you do strong visualization, that helps you with the doing. All right. Have a great afternoon. I will see you guys and talk to you guys later.